Should buy a home.
Interesting.
Homes were not built for people. Homes were built for banks. The bank created that product to sell money. You can't just loan people money. You need a product in between. The bank can't lend money for just money. Like, you need a reason to borrow money. Oh, you're starting a business. That's a reason, but it's really risky for the bank. Everybody should have a home, right? Oh man, that's pretty good. We should call it something like the American dream. Can't just call it a house, right? Everyone should have one, right? They got the politicians behind it. Yes, everyone should have one. And then what they did was basically those homes were built for banks, because who made all the money on the homes? Wasn't even the builder. Certainly wasn't the homeowner. It was always the banks.
I don't own a debit card. I've never owned one. I've never allowed my 3 sons to possess one. Certainly and truly the worst financial tool ever given to the American consumer. So a long time ago, I asked myself a simple question: how would I remove 99.9% of my personal liability like that? Because I really don't want to worry about all these things. So I use the safest form of payment that exists on the face of the earth, and that is a credit card. Credit card. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover card. Not debit credit, but credit card. Every day of my life, I spend their money. I don't spend my money. My money sits in a money market account. It earns interest. If I pay the bill in full or part of the bill, my credit score goes up. So I'm building credit while I'm using that credit card. If tomorrow someone gets my card number and charges $1 million on my credit card, by federal law, my liability is zero. I have no liability.
Obviously, I was 29. I went out with all my buddies and we drank too much. Not that it ever really happens very often, but you know, what do you want? You're going to buy a car? Nah, I'm not into cars. The house? No, I'm fine where I live. I want to see if they have a lifetime pass in American Airlines, because I traveled so much with my company that I wanted to just be able to relax and go have fun. So I called them up and they said, yeah, we sell these air passes. So for $125,000, I bought 125,000 miles for me and somebody else for the rest of my life. And so this is what it looks like. And I used to be able to just, literally, I would go out with friends and we'd go, you know, go drink in LA, fly to Vegas, fly somewhere else, you know, let's go to Moscow. Okay, let's go to Moscow.
One of my buddies, I've been a basketball junkie my entire life, so I go play pickup basketball. And one of my buddies that I played pickup basketball with got cancer and was close to dying, and his only real asset was this town, Mustang, Texas. And I'm like, well, I could help Marty and I could buy this town. And so I bought the town. And so, I mean, it was a cool concept, right? It was like, it's the only town in all of the state of Texas that is available for sale.
What happens when you purchase a small town? How are you then responsible for it?
I made one of my buddies the mayor, which basically means he's responsible for cleaning the trash and keeping it clean. That's the job of the mayor of Mustang, Texas.
When I was 21, I went on my honeymoon. My wife was 19. We went through Las Vegas. And I went in and I saw all these well-dressed people who had, most of whom had come 1,000 miles or so, and they've come to do stupid things. And I looked around and I thought, boy, am I going to get rich. I mean, imagine going 1,000 miles to throw a bunch of dice where you know you're going to lose money over time if you keep doing it. Yep. Those people are making decisions in the stock market, and they set prices, and all you have to do is every now and then look at one and say, wait, that doesn't make any sense in terms of where it's selling. I love it when the things we buy go down. Stocks are down today, and I'm buying more of something I was buying yesterday. I'm buying it cheaper. Now, when you go to the grocery store and you buy something cheaper than you bought it the day before, you think that's terrific. But people with their stocks, they think that the stock knows more than they do. When the stock goes down, they say the stock is telling them something. They take it as kind of a referendum on themselves, you know, and it's me versus the stock. If it ever gets back to what I paid, I'm going to sell it. The stock doesn't care what you paid. The stock doesn't even care that you own it. You are nothing to the stock. That stock is everything to you. There is nothing about the price action of the stock. What tells you whether you should keep owning it is what you expect the company to do in the future versus the price at which it's selling now. And that's all there is to owning stocks.
If you can do this, I guarantee you'll be rich. You need to get your income not to what pays your bills, but to where you can save 40% of your gross income is saved. This is way more difficult than that. If you can do this, you will get that. So watch what happens. If you make $10,000 a month and you want to save 40,000 of it, you would pay yourself first. So look, if you'll pay the freaking IRS $4,000 of 10, you need to figure out how to pay yourself $4,000. What's the problem here? You got to live on two. That's why when I was 35 years old, no one knew that I was a millionaire. Nothing had changed. I was still running with shit shoes. Nobody saw. I didn't have fancy cars. I'm driving a Camry with $1 million in the bank.